Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak. Survivors don't have time to ask why me. The only relevant question is, now what? My whole life has been a reflection of that statement. Coming from a family history of poverty and homelessness, I strive to be more through the chaos of my childhood because I knew there was something more within me. I wanted more for my life. I've been on my own since I was 15 years old, learning how to live while still growing up. By the age of 17, I found myself pregnant, not knowing not knowing how to be a mom, with no examples to lead me through. I fumbled through. I find myself at 19 being left as a scapegoat to now facing felony charges, having no clue what I was going to do. I lost custody of the only person I had that truly loved me, my son. Being left feeling all alone, I felt my world was flipped upside down, forced to push forward. While all this was true, my son was still yet my motivation to keep pushing through. The reality at that time proved to be prevailing in my life. I imprisoned myself with a pill addiction. It was my escape at the time. The addiction led to an arrest. With realizing the addiction was consuming me, the arrest, while most see it as a negative, it was a positive that saved me. After being released from prison, doing 3 years, all I wanted was to get my son back. This meant I had to divorce my husband, follow parenting plans, meet deadlines. I spent many nights crying out to God. I met with caseworkers, social workers, guardians at Lidum, supervised visits in a small office room while trying to make the most of my visit with my son. Sorry. I didn't like it, but I had to do it. And with all that, I still had to fight my father's son and girlfriend for custody of my child. I've gained full custody of my son. I stayed on top of everything that needed to be met. I worked double shifts. I put my son in football, then military school. I gave my son and I both a life we never knew before. God truly blessed us. Then, life tested me in ways I never saw coming. Being profiled, judged, and broken by situations of domestic violence and injustice that left me questioning my worth, even my sanity. When my father passed away, I entrusted someone I thought loved me, only to discover the relationship was a complete scam. In reality, I was used, poisoned, gang stalked. I was left to fight for my finances, my health, and my sanity. I was tormented, expected to either die or lose my mind. I had to learn how to adapt to the psychological mental anguish against me while being tampered with through digital voyeurism and placed on the dark web, a cruel game of chance, a type of human trafficking. I was unheard with no help. I was hurting inside, carrying memories that felt too heavy to face. I became isolated inside the silent danger. People saw my story, but not my heart. They saw the headlines, not the healing I was fighting for. But in those darkest moments, when I thought I was forgotten, God was still there. His grace was quietly holding me together. I learned to focus on the small things that truly matter, the beauty in what God provides. I fought through homelessness, striving to make a better way. God gave me strength when I had none. His grace carried me through the darkness. His word became my truth. And through all the chaos, his peace found me. Then came an opportunity I didn't even think I deserved at Habitat for Humanity Restore. I began volunteering, and then Ms. Debbie hired me, which gave me an opportunity to show my value and to rediscover who I am. It was the beginning of breaking free from the isolation and the start of my healing process. Understand, this wasn't always easy. I went paycheck to paycheck. Through Habitat for Humanity, I found strong families. Once I joined the Strong Families class, with their support and mentorship, I've learned to budget my finances, face the pain of my stolen identity, clean my credit, and find a better way forward. I can't express enough gratitude for the support and encouragement from Pebbles, my success coach. Through your help, you've given me the confidence of finding my voice. Now, I have a mental health counselor who helps me with life stressors because it does get crazy sometimes. I've opened a bank account. I'm saving money, reclaiming my identity, getting back into college, and most of all, I have hope. Through the storms of injustice and the wounds of abuse, I learned something powerful. No one can define you when God has already called you his own. I'm no longer the woman I was. I'm stronger, wiser, and grounded in faith because of his mercy. Today, I share my story not for sympathy, but to remind someone that grace is real. You can rise again. You can heal again. You can live again. Because God's love reaches places that pain can't touch. He uses the hands of others to help. I am forever grateful to Strong Families and Habitat for Humanity. As 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. I stand here today as living proof of that verse, proof that no matter how deep the hurt, God's grace is deeper still. I am more than a warrior. I am more than a survivor. I'm a warrior for God's purpose. Thank you.